In the Washington Post, two top officials who served in the Clinton and Bush administrations have published a letter warning against what they call the life-threatening costs of a delayed transition. Andy Card and John Podesta were the chiefs of staff for Bush and Clinton, and they were on opposite sides of the Bush-Gore dispute in Florida 20 years ago. What they say is that adversaries seek to take advantage of the U.S. during transitions, and it cannot be allowed to happen today. It has been, 6 days since Joe Biden was declared the winner of the U.S. presidential election, and still the current president has not conceded. For more on the risk, we're joined by David Priess, Chief Operating Officer at Lawfare Institute, former intelligence officer at the CIA, and author of How to Get Rid of a President. Good to have you on the show today.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So you were working at the CIA in 2000 during the Gore and Bush election dispute. The opinion piece in the Washington Post draws a direct connection between that uncertain time and the terror attacks on 9/11. You agree with that? Tell us more.
Yeah, the transition was delayed because of that long election when there was a recount in Florida because of the disputed votes there. And the administration simply didn't get started early enough to get all of the connections for getting people into positions, getting security clearances, and getting up to speed on all of the counterterrorism policies. Therefore, they were at a bit of a disadvantage when they began the administration. Now, they did get everything they needed eventually, but it wasn't until December that a lot of the transition machinery started. And the 9/11 Commission itself said that this transition was part of the problem that helped lead to the September 11th attacks.
So what are your concerns about what's happening right now?
Well, right now we have a very different situation. In the year 2000, there was one state that had a difference of a few hundred ballots that were the subject of a recount. And some delay was understandable in that sense because it literally could have gone either way for a while. In this case, it's not even close. It's tens of thousands of ballots in multiple states, all of which are unlikely to be overturned in any way. So it is a little bit odd that the transition isn't happening. At a minimum, even if the overall transition were to be slightly delayed for a while, which is some of the money unlocked for offices, for expedited security clearances, at the very minimum, the president can authorize President-elect Joe Biden to start getting the president's daily brief, the top secret intelligence document that the president himself gets. At a minimum, this would at least let the president-elect and presumably the vice president-elect start getting up to speed on the most sensitive issues that they will have to address.
Donald Trump has fired defense secretary, as we know. Mark Esper has expressed frustrations with the heads of the CIA, the FBI. How concerning is this from a national security standpoint?
It's not good, but it's not in my top 5 list of dangerous things right now. The bureaucracies underneath someone like the Secretary of Defense are huge, and they are staffed by professional civilians and military officers alike, none of whom will execute illegal orders if that is the president's goal by installing somebody that he thinks will do his bidding during a transition. I don't think it's that serious. But it is alarming because it speaks to the personality of the president, who perhaps out of petulance is firing anybody who didn't do exactly what he said, exactly the way he said to do it. And as such, that is a troublesome thing in a transition when adversaries of the United States might seek to take advantage of this chaos.
David, by not signing the papers to officially begin this whole transition process, the Trump administration is preventing Joe Biden from getting, as you mentioned, those briefings. We also hear the current president hasn't taken an intelligence briefing in months. How could all of this affect the Biden administration when dealing with foreign policy?
Well, we have a bit of good news here because Joe Biden was, of course, vice president for 8 years and fairly recently. And as vice president, he read the president's daily brief daily, and by all accounts was a very serious consumer of intelligence. Also, presumably, most of the senior officials that will be coming into the administration are also veterans of the Obama administration, and it wasn't that long ago they were in office. So this will probably be the transition in the early administration with the steepest learning curve, but the one that also has people able to make that learning curve work because they have the experience and they have the recent experience to, in a sense, pick up where they left off and understand what intelligence can give them and not give them, and also keep those relationships with foreign leaders that they developed over an 8-year administration.
David, we appreciate your time and your intelligence this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.